Good morning, children. Today, in this class, I am going to explain about how the landforms are formed on the surface of the earth by some external forces with the help of wind and water. Okay. Now let us see the external forces or external processes. Okay, from the previous classes, we can say the landforms were formed due to some internal process which are happened between the layers of the underlayers of the earth. Okay, from the previous classes, we can conclude that the first order and second order landforms were formed due to the plate tectonics and due to the movements of plates. Okay, now let us see how the landforms were formed on the surface of the earth with some external forces or some external process by wind and water. Okay, the process of wearing away the mountains, rocks from one place to another place, and deposition of mountains and rocks from one place to another place, that is called the external process. Okay, in this external process, the wearing away of mountains and some landforms from one place to another place, and depositing of these mountains and rocks in the form of landforms in another place, that is called the external process. By how the external process were occurring on the surface of the earth with the help of water and air. Okay, now let us see the shaping of landforms by water and wind. The shaping of landforms by water and wind, that are called the third order landforms. The shaping of landforms. The shaping of landforms by wind and water. Wind and water, that are called third order landforms. Are the landforms were formed due to the wind and water? Okay, yes. We can say yes. Why? How the landforms are formed due to the work of wind and due to the work of water. Okay, as we have seen, if it is a heavy rainfall is happening on the surface or on the top of the mountain, the water which is flowing from the top of the mountain, which carries some of the pebbles and gravel along with the water flow. Okay, that's why we can say it is having some such force to bring the pebbles and stones from the top of the. Okay, that's why you can conclude that whenever the water is flowing from ups to bottom, it carries the sediments, it carries the gravel and pebbles along with the stream of flow. Okay, like this. In this manner, the landforms are transferring from one place to another place. Okay. Now let us see what are the processes involving in this formation of landforms. Okay. In this formation of landforms, there are four types of processes are involving, that are weathering. The first one is weathering. Erosion, transportation, and finally deposition. These are the four processes involving the shaping of landforms. These are the four processes involving about the shaping of landforms by the water and wind. By the water and wind. Okay, now let us see this. Let us discuss about these processes. Okay, weathering. Coming to weathering. Suppose if you see a big rocks or mountains, these big rocks, whenever they are exposed to heat, whenever they are exposed to heat, they will be expanded during the summer season. Whenever it exposed to cool, whenever it exposed to cool temperature, it contracts. The big mountains or rocks, whenever it exposed to heat, it expands. Whenever it exposed to cool, it immediately contracts. Okay, this process is going continuously day and night. During the daytime, it is going to expand, and during the night time, it is going to contract. Okay, by day and night, this process is happening, and for continuous year after year and for decades, like this process is going. After so many years or after so many millions of years, it is a very slow process. After so many million years, the mountain that is contract and expands is due to the contraction and expansion. The mountain, the upper layer of the mountain will brittle, and it is ready to break. Okay. After breaking this mountain, due to the entering of water and moisture in the rocks or in the mountains, the water is reacted with the internal parts of the rocks or mountains. Okay, due to the chemical reaction happened between the water and the rocks or mountains, the rock will be corroded, the rock will be eroded slowly. The rock will be eroded slowly. Okay, this entire process is called weathering. Okay, weathering. Okay, whenever the mountains and rocks are continuously exposed to heat, whenever they are exposed to heat, it will expand. Whenever they are exposed to cool, it contracts. Okay, after this process happened continuously during day and night, year after year, for decades ago, for millions of years after, the mountains will get very brittle. Brittle means it is very easy to break. Okay, the mountain, after the breaking or after the broken of mountain top layer, the water and moisture enters into the inner layers of the mountain, and it reacts with the inner parts of the chemicals which are present in the rocks, and it eroded the inner parts of the mountains. Okay, this is the process. This entire process is called weathering. Okay, now let us see the erosion. Okay, if you see, whenever there is a heavy rainfall, the top layer of the surface will be eroded along with the stream flow of water. The top layer of soil will be eroded. We can see generally in monsoon season, the top layer of soil will be eroded along with the stream flow of water. Okay, this is about water. Removal of top layer of soil. During the rainy season, that is called erosion. Okay, now let us see about transportation. Transportation means this transportation also we can see during the rainy season. Whenever there is a heavy rainfall has occurred on the top of the mountains, we can see along with the stream flow of water, it carries some pebbles and gravel along with the water. Okay, due to the flow of these pebbles and gravel along with the water. The pebbles which are transporting from one place to another place, this transportation is called the process transportation. The moving of particles, the moving of landforms from one place to another place by wind or air, that are called transportation. Transportation means whenever the eroded particles, are transforming from or transporting from one place to another place along with water or along with air. In water, like rivers, ponds, canals, in the form of these water bodies, the eroded particles will be transported. Okay, in the form of air, if you see air, whenever the storms occurred, sand dunes, due to the sand dunes, gusts, due to these all process in the air, the particles, the smaller particles which are transporting from one place to another place, this process is called transporting. And deposition. Okay, after slow down the movement of the water, after slowing down the speed of water in the stream flow, it has losing their force. It has losing their force to carry the pebbles and to carry the gravels. Okay, whenever it loses its force, it immediately relieves the pebbles and sediments which are carrying from the one place to another place. It deposits the sand particles on the surface, on the layer of the earth. It deposits some pebbles and gravels. This process is called deposition of particles. Okay, due to this continuous deposition on the bed of the rivers, on the bed of the tanks, okay, due to this deposition, the sedimentary rocks will be formed. Sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks will form. How the sedimentary rocks will form? Due to the deposition of gravel and pebbles on the inner surface of the river or on the bed of the river, due to the deposition process. Okay, after so many years or after several years, if you did not silting the beds of the river, it will form as the rocks. Those rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Due to deposition of sedimentary things or due to deposition of sediments on the river beds, the sedimentary rocks will form. Okay, this is about the external process which are forming the landforms on the surface of the earth. Okay, now let us see one more example about the process of this weathering or the external process. In India, the great Indo-Gangetic plain was formed due to this erosion and transportation process, or due to the work of water. The great Indo-Gangetic plains were formed. Okay, in our state, in Andhra Pradesh, we can see the great Krishna Delta and Godavari Delta also formed due to the work of water. Okay, and due to the work of water, okay, now let us see the work of water. How the landforms are formed due to the water. Okay, that is called the work of water. Work of water. Okay, whenever there is a stream flow of water has occurred from the top of the mountains to the lower part of the or bottom of the mountains, generally it carries some pebbles and gravels along with the stream flow of water. Okay, like in this way, the famous dunes are formed in India, that are the Dehradun, Kotli Dune and Patli Dune. Okay, now let us see about these dunes. Dunes formed due to the work of water in India. The famous dunes that are formed due to the work of water in India, that are the Dehradun, Kotli Dune and Patli Dune. These are the dunes which are formed due to the work of water. Okay, now let us see how these dunes are, or what is the shape of these dunes. Okay, the shape of these dunes is in the shape of V. The shape is called as V-shaped valleys. How these V-shaped valleys are formed? Okay, at the beginning, the water flows from the top of the mountain to the lower parts of the mountain. It generally flows on the surface of the mountain. Due to the flowing on the surface of the mountain, it generally eroded the particles. Suppose at the beginning the water flows on the surface of the mountains like this. Okay, whenever the stream flow of water increases, it gradually increases its external force. Due to such type of force, it eroded the particles. Which are in between the mountains. Okay, that's why these valleys are having, there is very broad at the surface of at the top of the mountains, or these are having very narrow valleys. These are very narrow at the bottom of the valleys. At the top of the valleys, these are having very broad length, and at the bottom of the valleys, these are having very narrow length. Why? Because the work of water. Due to the work of water, these valleys are formed. Okay. Now let us see one more example about this work of water. Due to this work of water, the great Grand Canyon, Arizona. Grand Canyon. This Grand Canyon, Arizona, was formed in the river Colorado. This great Grand Canyon was formed in the river Colorado. Okay, it is about 466 kilometers. This great Grand Canyon of Arizona is formed in the river Colorado. It is about having 466 kilometers, and it is having 1.6 kilometers depth. 1.6 kilometers depth. It is having length 466 kilometers and 1.6 kilometers of depth, and it is having width from 188 meters to 29 kilometers. 188 meters to 29 kilometers of width it is having. Okay. Now let us say this is the Grand Canyon, Arizona. This is the Grand Canyon, Arizona, which is formed due to the work of water. Okay, it is formed in the river Colorado, and it is having the length 466 kilometers, and it is having depth 1.6 kilometers, and it is having the width varies from 188 meters to 29 kilometers. Okay. In the next class, we will see more about the work of water. Thank you, children.